Thank you guys for coming back to Cobra TV, and today we're going to talk about, of course, the art direction, but so much more. So to start off, let's go ahead and talk about the obvious that all of you guys already know, but it's cool just to talk about it, create discussion from this. So the new video, which I'm a little confused on whether it's IGN's video or whether it's PlayStation's video, because it was uploaded on both, and it really wasn't branded with IGN on PlayStation, so I don't know whose video it is, but to be on the safe side, we're just going to use some pictures here. But although it was just an art direction video, there was still a lot to take away from it, wasn't there? And one of the first things that I really want to get out of the way, we're not going to go in order here, but one of the first things I want to bring up to you guys, the amazing glimpse that we got of what could be a second NPC. And to me, I don't know. I'm not confirming this is an NPC. What do you guys think? To me, it looks like it would be. It looks like it would be intelligent rather than just an animal. But it's definitely cool to see this. I can't believe they actually did show it. But just based on its looks, it looks like it could be, if it is an NPC, it looks like it would be one of the warrior NPCs. But again, we don't know what it is, but it was really cool to see that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Some of the other cool things to point out were some of the art that they had hanging up. Some of it wasn't just art, some of it was actually pictures of the actual game, but it looks like most of it was concept art and reference material. But in this scene here, we can see a nice concept art of a space station in the middle of what looks like, I don't know, either a lot of trading or war getting ready to start. And then in the next picture, we get to see an actual in-game picture. And it's really, really cool. And I need your opinion on this as well. Now, what we see here is a white ship parked in what looks like a white space station bay. But I'm not entirely sure if that's a space station or if it could possibly be, you know, one of the freighter ships it's docked in. So that's a big stretch. Yes, I know. That is definitely a big stretch. But if it is a space station, the ceiling is very low on it, but all space stations are procedural, so there could be really massive space stations, or there could be really tiny ones, or there could be space stations that have like these weird docking bays for one ship only all over the entire thing. So who knows what this is, but it's really cool to see. All white, very sterile looking, and it's just amazing to see another part of the game that we haven't been shown yet. And then we get to see some more concept art, which the concept art is really amazing to talk about, because one of the things that I've noticed, and I'm sure you guys have as well, is the concept art that Hello Games does produce literally makes it in the game, almost exactly the way the concept art looks like. We'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. Then we get to see some more concept art of different versions of alien creatures, which again, everything that they do in concept art literally makes it into the game, at least what I've seen so far. And here we go with the exciting part for me. These spaceships are completely amazing, asymmetrical spaceships. And this one kind of reminds me of something from Star Wars, from the pod racers. Really, really, really cool. And then the next one, again, it looks like something you would see out of Star Wars. Pretty curious on what some of that stuff would do on the right side over there. And then we get to some of these building silhouettes that we see here. I'm going to say it one more time until later on in the video. Their concept art, it's so amazing how they do it. I don't know what they do, but it seems like no matter what they do in concept, they literally take that idea and actually implement it into the game. As you can see here, some building silhouettes. And one of the older trailers, we see something, it looks like it might be a trade station, and I think that's what these are here too. Trade stations, little small, I don't know. But if you take a look at this picture here from one of their old trailers, it looks just like these guys. So the exciting thing about this is what you're seeing here. I'm not confirming it, but what you're seeing here is probably typical of something that you're going to come across somewhere at some point in time. And the diversity of some of these buildings just blow my mind away. And we have some awesome pictures of some ships. And if you could tell, these ships here, the way they look, the style of some of these ships look exactly like some of the ships that we would see in the game. And then we come to either a rough draft of the Korvax when they were trying to figure out what they wanted it to look like, or we have different variations of the Korvax for maybe different roles that they play within their race. It's really amazing here to see the different styles of these guys. The guys over at Hello Games, they're just some of the best artists I think I've ever seen. And a lot of people remember this guy from the Game Informer coverage, where they showed this one swimming around with what looks like, like a baby swimming with it. So it's pretty cool to see this thing again. Now, some cool and weird things to point out in that video was this little guy right here. And we've seen this little guy in the PSX video where he played the game with Yoshida. And this is a 3D printed model. And what's really cool about this is over on Twitter, a gentleman by the name of Harry Denholm, I think is how you pronounce it, tweeted out pictures of 3D printed aliens from the actual game. Now, we know you can go to discoveries to go and do several things. One of them is rename, and another one is view the 3D model of creatures that you have discovered. And somehow within that, this Harry Denholm, who actually works at Hello Games, was able to 3D print 2 aliens from that. And then reading down in some of the conversation here, a user by the name of Marion, a Twitter user by the name of Marion, asked, can all creatures from the game be exported to STL? Could I do this as a player/modder? He responded to him by saying, currently, it relies on some dev-only code for snapshot and export, but maybe in the future, unless some modders do it first. Now, that sounds like they're kicking around the idea of maybe having this an actual feature for the game. And that would be pretty cool. And there are some cheap 3D printers out there. There was one I saw on the internet the other day. It was $349 for a 3D printer. But this is so amazing. I mean, with the possibility, I'm not saying it's confirmed, but the possibility of VR being able to 3D print your discoveries from the game, just, I don't know, just blows my mind away, guys. But do not sit there and dwell on the possibility of you being able to 3D print animals, because he's not saying that they're going to do it, but he's saying maybe in the future. And that's not a yes. But my gosh, wouldn't that be cool, guys? So moving on to the other thing that I wanted to talk about. When Bolam was talking about the art direction and things that he does and references that he uses for the game, they showed a screenshot of him saying that they had a Pinterest account. And it was all blurred out. Everything is perfectly crisp and clear except for the screen. It's all blurred out. So I went to the internet and like I'm sure many of you have, and found out Bolam's Pinterest account, which I'm going to link down below. And the reason why it's really cool to look at Bolam's Pinterest account is because he's using things in there to create the game. So it gives you kind of an idea of things that he pinned that he needed to use for an art direction, or maybe an idea that they had for something to go to be put into the game. Now, not everything on there, don't think that just because you see a monkey or something on there that there's going to be monkeys in the game. I can almost probably imagine that there's going to be a monkey type character in No Man's Sky, but that's beside the point. But if you look at some of their concept art, and you look at these pictures right here on the screen, and it shows this dinosaur with the arrow type head, especially this one here and this one up here, and then you go directly to an in-game snapshot of that, of almost the exact same dinosaur looking creature, from the spines on his back to the arrow to the arrow or whatever on his head, and it looks almost identical to some of these concept arts. That's what I'm saying. They are very good at drawing concept art and making sure it gets implemented into the game almost the way you see it. And I've noticed that with almost all their concept art. So going through Hello Games Pinterest, or Bolam's Pinterest, you can see things like concept art, 3D, reference animals and creatures, tattoos, game stuff, weapons, biomes, spaceships, buildings, scientific, and all of this stuff. Like if you go through some of these ships and you come down here to, say, this one, I mean, that almost looks like something that we would see in No Man's Sky, and definitely something that we would see coming from their concept art. So it's interesting. It's a good way to kill the time going through some of those pictures. And since we're on the topic of art, there's a gentleman by the name of Matthew DeVito who has done work for Hello Games in the past. He provided a lot of the visuals for the PSX concert that 65 Days of Static played. And I've been meaning to talk about this guy for so long. But there wasn't a right time. And since we're talking about some of the art, I guess this is a good time to talk about Matthew DeVito. If you check out a video, I'm going to link his website down below. A video that he has done called That Will Be the Day is almost the same stuff that we've seen at the PSX PlayStation concert with 65 Days of Static. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything, but the guy has done work for Hello Games. And so it's pretty cool to go over and check out some of his artwork. If you love No Man's Sky and you like the visuals of No Man's Sky, you're definitely going to enjoy coming over to his website. There's a lot of great stuff over there. But definitely make sure you check out That Will Be the Day. Guys, that's about all I have today. We are going to be talking about the size of the planets in the next video. I see a lot of people concerned that they're not real life-size planets, and people are trying to make these videos where they're doing math, looking at the planets and trying to figure out how many feet Sean Murray's actually traveling when he's playing the game. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next video and try and shed some light on why we shouldn't even be doing math on some of the planets that we've been shown so far. As always, I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming back. I will see you guys in the next video. Until next time.